Well, hello, and welcome back. Let's see how everything's working today. Looks like it's working. Okay. Whew. Oh, goodness. So excuse the poofy do. I was, taking a nap because it is 12:20 a.m. here. So, no, I wasn't really taking a nap. I was watching a TV show with my wife, but it's kind of like taking a nap. Anyway, um, so I've discovered this tool called Otter.ai, and what I'm doing, this is my Sharpen the Stream series where I'm taking some time to work on just the channel and the stream and all that. And so this is a tool that I've discovered that I really like that allows me to basically, I'll go through a little bit of it. But I split out the audio from the video files that are being recorded while I'm streaming. I upload it to this, it transcribes them the next day. I can hand that off to Josh, the virtual assistant, that sounds so impersonal, my friend and virtual assistant. And then I'm not sure what all we're going to do with it from there, but one of the things I know that I want to do is to be able to get the time codes out and I want to get out the keywords and the time codes and kind of be able to do something arbitrary with them. One of the things that I want to do is put together basically a blog, a content site that has all that stuff. And so, yeah, that's what we're gonna work on. So I'll show you kind of what I got right now. First, let me zoom out of this so you can actually see. So this is somebody shoveling snow outside? I don't think there's snow outside. Anyway, uh, so this comes from an audio file. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing, and I'll get this stuff published in a repo eventually. But I don't even know what I'm doing quite yet, so I'm not ready to put it in a repo and slap a README on it and all that. And I don't really like putting stuff public if it can't do anything. I'm sure I've got at least 100 repositories because I have 400 some odd repositories. So I'm sure at least 100 of them have terrible READMEs and are probably useless. But anyway, that all aside, this is my script where I can just drag and drop. I need a little drag and drop icon to hit to put over the stream when I say that. Like the dragon who drags and drops, um, anyway, so I can take the file name and I'll actually show you this real quick. Let's go. Oh, it came up over here. This is fine. So I'm going to go to source files here. I can just drag the name over top of this and then give it a new name if I want. So let's say, for example, I'm not actually going to do anything with this one, but I could do something with this one. I could call it delete me. Let's just do that. We're going to call it delete me. So now this is extracting audio from that and it put it in downloads delete me. Then I could take that. I can just go to Otter. I can click. I can't click because whatever reason. Okay, I'm just going to refresh. Okay, I can refresh. There we go. I can click import. Then I can do my drag and drop, as it were. Oh, did I already get rid of that Finder window? I think I did. Okay, yeah. So back to the Finder window here. Let's see if we went to downloads. So then I can just, drag and drop that and then get the transcript by morning. So anyway, that's kind of the purpose that I'm using Otter for, is just these transcripts so that I can be able to get keywords and stuff. Okay, so after over explaining that too much, what I want to be able to do, and I'm not sure, okay, so I cannot select this. I was kind of hoping I could just select it off the page and not have to do a download, because kind of any additional steps that I don't have to do, I don't want to do. But let's go ahead and say we're going to do an export here. So I can do a text format export, include speaker names, include timestamps, and yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and click export this. So it's going to download. So we'll put that in downloads. So this is actually not one of my live streams. This is, even a better example because it's highly valuable content from a presentation. So if we go take a look at that Utah Rust Magmide talk, .txt. So this is a fairly regular format that I should be able to do something with, meaning that there is a speaker name, maybe or maybe not. There's some sort of, I don't know if it's spacing or it seems to be double spaced, which just seems kind of a weird way to do it. And then the time code of the video, and then what they said at that time code. And sometimes it gets things mixed up and picks the wrong speaker or whatever. But I'm not concerned about that. I just kind of want to get the gist of it. And if we could, even if we just called this speaker 1, speaker 2, whatever, that's just as well to me. I think the main speaker here is Blaine. And so I should probably at least let it get, yeah, it seems that speaker 1 is the main speaker. So that must be Blaine. Is that speaker 1, 93%. So let's say this is Blaine from Utah Rust. I'm just going to call it Blaine. I forgot his last name, but let's go ahead and say that's it. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to re-download this so that we get the difference between Blaine and unknown speaker. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep. And then go ahead and save. Yeah, replace it. We're good. Okay, so we go back in here, and then now it says Blaine. Awesome. So usually it's going to be me. Sometimes if I have a debate, I'm going to have those people tagged. When it's the audience, then I'm not worried if it says unknown speaker all over the place. Oh, did it actually? Oh, so it hasn't updated this all yet. That's fine. So my question is, do I take this TXT format, which they officially give, and use that, or... Oh, hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing? Oh, I see a couple of people are joining in now. I didn't say hello earlier because I was all alone, or at least that's what it looked like from the outside or from the inside. And I see somebody else, at least one other person's on, so hello to you. I suspect a few other people are because the ticker, it goes up and down. It's got a 5-minute average or something like that. How's it going? How's your night tonight? Or morning? No, Mike. You're in Utah, right? You were in Utah. Are you still in Utah? Okay. So, oh no. Sorry. How long has that been going? I didn't hear that on my headphones because I wasn't wearing them. It sounds like that was going on for quite some time, so I apologize for that. Oh, and why is the restream chat over here? That's strange. It should be over there. Okay, did away with that too. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. You know what I need to do? We need to have a quick word from our not real sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Top, open focus. You know the drill. There we go. I can feel the brain cells growing. Okay, so the other thing I was going to say, npm.js, go there and grab, somebody created a thing called Otter.ai API. Yeah, let's see if I just put in Otter.ai, it says 0. Otter.ai, it says, Otter.ai API. So it may be worth it to try this unofficial API that somebody else, or somebody basically probably discovered through the web browser. I think that's essentially what they're doing. And just kind of see what it looks like if I get better information. If I could do, for example, instead of just having the text file say unknown speaker for everything, do what it does in their own interface and have speaker 1, speaker 2. I want to be able to do time offsets, because when we clip a video, when we clip off, say, the first 5 minutes where it's just waiting or it's chat that's not super relevant, then I may want to be able to readjust the time code so I can put some time codes in the description of videos so that it gets the chapter markers, things like that. So I'm not sure which route is the best route to take yet. I do want to try this out, so I'm going to go ahead and try it out, and we'll see how that works. Hello, welcome. I'm AJ O'Neill. Would love to know what brings you to the channel tonight. This is going to be a fairly short one. I definitely am going to get to bed before 2 a.m. tonight. This is part of my Sharpen the Stream series where I just work on stuff for the channel to make the channel better. And so this is about getting transcriptions out of videos and getting better searchability SEO from them. Okay, so this does not seem to make sense at all. I mean, I guess there's a lot of features that I would not know about this. So that from that perspective, it makes sense because I'm seeing photos. What photos does this have attached to it? Oh, I bet it could be the speaker photos. Array of speakers, word cloud. Okay, yeah, this is great. Because I don't get the word cloud from the TXT download as far as I can tell. Let me see, is there other formats I can export this in? I can move, I can rematch, I can export. Additional settings. My export format can be clipboard, TXT, docx, PDF, or SRT, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in all of them. I can also export the audio and then get a zip file. Okay, yeah. And the audio is down converted to 16 kilohertz, which is what is common for voice meetings. So those systems that you see, the triangle looking ones, let me see if I can pull up. I think they're called poly something or other speaker. What were they called? Conference room speaker poly something. There actually is one called Poly, but that's not the one that I'm thinking about it. But if you've seen these things, but they actually operate at 16 kilohertz, which I think is set. So these are the knockoffs. This is Jabra is one of the more popular ones that's more consumer grade. Ah, yeah, here you go. This is it. These triangle looking ones. You see these in offices and whatnot. So these doodads, they don't record at 48 kilohertz, which makes me sad. And it's probably part of the reason that the quality is both good and bad. Less noise, but also more, it doesn't quite capture the richness of your voice. And for me, honestly, I'd prefer to get a little bit of room noise in the richness of the voice than to lose the richness of the voice. But basically the reason that this is meant to capture meetings like Zoom and things like that. And I would imagine you're just going to have an easier time if you downsample content, if you're trying to do something like speech recognition on it, because you want less information, because you'll be more accurate with less information. You'll get less noise. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to try out this NPM module and we're going to see what happens. By the way, for those of you joining in, feel free to tell me who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the channel tonight, and if there's anything you want to learn. Because we're just kind of hanging out, you can feel free to ask questions. We can go off topic. It's okay if I don't get this done. I'm not super focused on it. I just wanted to get back to well, technically now it's Monday. But it was Sunday, the first day of the week. I thought that'd be a good day to just kind of work on housekeeping items. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'll just go into this projects. I'm going to go into AJ Stream Updater. I'm going to put this as a mini project in there. I'm going to call it, I'm just going to create a folder called Otter. I'm going to npm init it. And then let's see what we can do. npm install save Otter.ai API. Also, I'm going to need, as always, .env. And I'm going to have to put my username and password into that .env file, which, give me just a second here. I'm going to move this in just a touch. There we go. That way I've got a little bit of grab space so I can go back and forth between these. And I am trying to keep an eye on the chat, so again, feel free to say hello or ask questions and whatnot. Oops. Why is this not working? Is this selected? Yes. Okay, there we go. I must have not hit the right button. Oh, and you know what? My keycaster is not up. Let's get that up here. All right, keycaster, where are you hiding? Oh, there it is. Good. Okay, so now you can see when I'm frustrated about a button, and then I can see too. Am I actually pressing the right button? That's nice. So it's clearing the screen because I did the .env install. I'm going to need to touch .env, and I do a .env.secret because I stream, and I often want to show you the config files that don't have any secrets in them. So my pattern has been to have the two files, and the .secret one is the one that I will go and edit over on this other screen where you don't get to see anything, unfortunately. So I'm going to go figure out what my Otter username and password is so that I can then copy and paste this example and see what happens. And I'll do a quick security check, make sure it doesn't grab the username and password and do anything untoward with it. But I doubt that it does, and it's a random password that's one-off generated just for Otter, so it wouldn't really matter too much if that were the case. Low vector of attack area. Okay, so what do I need to do here? Oh, I need to do my .env.secret, and it's going to be Otter email. I guess that one I could leave. Nah, I'm just going to put it in here. I'm just going to put it, they're both credentials. So let me go grab that password. So you won't see this while I'm doing that, obviously, because I don't want to show you me grabbing passwords, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to have too much focus tonight because, like I said, I do actually want to go to bed. Okay. Need to open up Authenticator app here. And trust this computer, yeah. So I got the new update for macOS, and I am super satisfied. It fixed all the problems that I was having with my monitors, more or less, I think. So I was having these problems where the monitors, well, actually, I don't know if it's fixed this one yet, but sometimes the monitors would just randomly turn off. All four of them would just turn off except for the one that's in the display. And I'm fairly confident that's not going to happen anymore. But the big problem was that when I went into display preferences, let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. Where did it go? Where's display preferences? Oh, it's right there in front of my face. So when I went into displays, if I edited settings, it would just freak out. Or if I wanted, anytime that I wanted to move any of these by a position, all the monitors would go out and then come back on and stuff like that. I think, well, obviously there's still some bugs with it. As you just saw, it was doing some sort of weird ghosting thing. I don't like these pop-ups. Yeah, see there, you see that again. But in addition to being able to try out the new screen handoff thing soon, which I'm excited about, I'm just super stoked that I can now adjust the displays and change the resolutions, and it actually remembers what I changed it to. And it seems like it persisted across the reboot that I did already. So that's just a little side note. Will recommend. Well, who knows what other bugs there might be or something. It could be something worse in there, but so far, do recommend. As well, especially if you work with multiple monitors, go get it. All right, so here's my 20 character password. Just pasting that in there. All right, great. Now let's go over here, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Get speech search there. I think there's also an upload. I'm imagining that there must be a title. I don't know what summary is. Summary is the keywords. I guess we'll take a look at what we get back and see for ourselves. I'm going to call this I'm going to call it Otter.js for now. And let's switch this to something sane. Let's see. Hopefully, I just so hope that this is not. No, I don't think it breaks in that direction because, oh yes, it does, doesn't it? Ugh. Okay. If this person has gone full on with ES modules, we're gonna have a problem because the require isn't going to work, and I'm going to have to do something. I forget what it is, require.async or import.async, something like that. Frustrates me. Let's do require.env. I don't see any upshots to imports. I've talked about this multiple times over the years. I even did a presentation on it. Well, I did a presentation. Somebody wanted to know about imports. I did a presentation on imports. And it's more complex. I think there is maybe, no, I don't know that there's really even a use case for it in the browser world, because the way that the bundlers work and all that, it all gets transpiled and elided away. Or elided is probably the opposite. Elided is when it becomes more automatically. Anyway, we want to do path, and I'm going to put in both .env and then .env.secret. I think that's what I wanted to do with that. And so then we should be able to do process.env.otteremail. We'll go here. And we'll change this out to process.env.otterpassword. And then go ahead and log all this, and there we go. Main function that is async. And then call main. And I'm not going to call .catch on it for right now. Okay. So I think that basically should be it. And then what we would want to do, get speeches. And then do we get more information? Transcript. Get speeches, transcripts. We could have multiple transcripts for a speech. Interesting. So I'm guessing this will not come with the text itself, which would make sense. But yeah, let's just see, get speeches. What does that look like? So let speeches equals console.log speeches. All right. Oh gosh. Do I have to do .default or something like that? All right, cool. Successfully logged in. That's nice. All right. Oh, and I didn't check to make sure that the code isn't terrible. That's weird. That's really weird. That's a heck of a lot of dependencies. What in the world could be going on with this module that it's bringing in all this stuff? What in the world? That just seems insane. Probably because it brings in the whole... Yeah, I really don't want that. Or, XML to JS. That's... well, there's a good one and there's a bad one. The request promise, and request. That's... And Axios. What? The letter L? What is going on? Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so there's just a ton of dependencies to this thing that don't make any sense. There's only a dist file here. Let's see. Okay, but the output looks at least readable. That's good. Is there an import here, or there's a require here? Require Axios, require... Why would you need request promise? What? This might be a case of someone literally copying and pasting from Stack Overflow. Maybe just looking up, how do I do this type of a request? And someone's using Axios for that type of request. And then Googling something else on Stack Overflow, and then getting someone else's answer that used request promise and someone else's answer that used request. Because that seems really strange to intentionally require 3 different request libraries because all of them do the same thing. It's not like you're going to get, the benefit of Axios is that it's newer. The benefit of request is that it's complete. The detriment of request and is probably actually where all those dependencies come from. That's the reason that I wrote my own that I use at root request, which is, it's a drop-in replacement. Just for all the cases that I use it for. But, then when there's something that I need, I can just fix it pretty easy. And it's documented and follows the request API. Anyway, so XML to JS. All right, so that kind of makes sense. Wait, is it just for the cookie part? Parse XML. Okay, so we got a cookie parser in here, and we have an XML parser in here. And they're just being put in utils. And then the response, we're getting this from S3 buckets. Oh, I bet that might be a reason that somebody would want to use request. No, they're using Axios for that. Oh no, it is request here. Okay. Interesting. Oh, this is the upload. Okay, what is this one then? This is the... Oh, what? Oh, got it. Okay. So here's what's happening with this. This person is using S3 as the storage system so that when they say, hey, I want to upload to you, Otter, here's a URL to grab the upload from. So it's not providing a direct method by which we go, well, hold on, let me go check this out. AWS S3 URL. Interesting. So I think it's actually, origin refer Otter.ai. Okay. So I'm guessing it's using some sort of session scoped token well, that'll be interesting to look at later. So it looks like it's uploading directly to Otter's S3, not to some sort of special that I'm not going to have to pay for S3 to use this. I can upload it to Otter's S3 directly is what it looks like. I'll be interested to look at that more later. But anyway, for right now, yeah, that looks, so code looks clean enough in terms of nothing intentionally malicious in there. Okay, so let's run this again and let's take a look at the data that we get back. How much data are we getting back? Quite a bit. So I think we are actually getting every message that, or not message, every transcription. Let me just check here real quick. Title. How many of those do we have? I'm going to use JQ on this, actually. No, I'm not. I'm not going to use JQ on this right now. Okay, do we have anything that looks like it could be transcriptions? Okay, this is speech ID. Word clouds. There's multiple word clouds? I'd be interested to see what a word cloud looks like. Let's just log out one in its entirety. That's what we're going to do next. So, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go in here, and I'm just going to log out one speech in its entirety. So we're going to hit speeches.length. Let's do that. And then let's do speech one, and I'm going to JSON.stringify it. So that I get the whole thing. All right, let's do it. Oh, interesting. Oh, I like that a lot. So the word cloud gives you, I don't know what means it's, I don't know how this is useful, or not how it's useful, but I don't know how this would be measured to be able to really tell its usefulness. But the word cloud that it's giving us back is scored, as you can see. And it gives you variants of the word. Oh, that's neat. Oops. Let's go up to the top here. I think I'm going to put this in a file just so I can reference it. And this would be the Utah rust.json is what I'm going to call this one. And we've got a speech ID. We've got a start time. Now, what does that mean? End time, modified time. Maybe that's when it started doing the processing of the transcription. All right, so the summary is essentially the word cloud. All right, so it's got my email in there. It's got a download URL. I wonder if this is... Okay, so you do have to be logged in to use those download URLs. Good to note. And can export true. Neat. All right, now let's take a look at, oh, what was it? Speech ID that I need to get by? Speech ID. Okay. So let's modify this. And we're going to say let speech ID equals speeches 0.speech ID. Oops. By the way, for those of you that are, coming in and leaving and, whatever, well, I guess for those of you that are left already, it doesn't make a difference, but feel free to ask questions. This is just time to kind of hang out and code and chat. So sometimes we get a lot of discussion, sometimes we don't, and that's fine too. I'm just working on what I'm working on, and you are invited to hang out with me. By the way, there's also another service, which I should make note of this, called wit.ai, since I just said with me. And I'm not entirely clear what their business model is. I think it's open source, and not, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I can't find a pay me. I wonder if it's associated with Facebook in some way. So this may be some sort of their crowdsourcing training models might be what this is. This could be some sort of project from Facebook where what they're doing is incentivizing you. Hey, we'll give you the text-to-speech software for free if you upload the training models to us and give them to us or something. And it says Wit.ai Inc. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not some subsidiary of Meta. Okay, Wit.ai. So maybe they're a startup that has something to do with homes, smart homes. But that makes a lot of sense. I'd like to see more approaches like this, although I would like to see it paid as well, because if it's not paid, that means one day it's going to go away. But this is kind of a neat approach. So you've got one business model, and what you're going to do is allow people to use a product that you've generated to help you train your models for a different product that you're working on. So this gets to be a free service. And anybody that uses it can get value out of it, and you can get value out of it. That's kind of a neat model. Anyway, that's another one that I do want to check out at some point, but not today. Not any more than I did just now, at least. Okay, so we need what? Get speech, and we give it the speech ID. And then we're going to get transcripts, I think is what's going to come out of that. I don't care about the search. I do care about the upload. I do want to check and see if that will work. In fact, I think I'll try doing an upload of the delete me. And then after that, I might call it a night. Just this little exploratory session is its own value. So transcript, let's say that's what this is. I don't really need to log that anymore. Let's do console.log transcript. And then I was JSON.stringify maybe. Well, let's just take a look what it looks like. Let's see how deep it is as is. So we got 17 of these things. That sounds about right. I need to figure out how to delete these. Okay, transcripts, audio URL. Interested to see. Oh, okay, so that will actually download it without being authenticated. Oh, because it's got the signature URL in there. And the expires. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see if we can go back to the top. All right, I'm going to clear out the screen and then try this again, because that was too much information. I want to be able to scroll it better. So I think what we're seeing is for every segment of the transcript, speakers array, we've only identified one speaker. Okay. I'd think that we'd have more for the unknown speakers, that we'd annotate them somehow. This is unknown speaker 1, 2, 3, like it shows in the web interface. So we got our word clouds. So it's all the same information that we had before, but then extra information as well. Transcripts. Okay, so start offset. This is one of the reasons I brought up that 16 kilohertz earlier, is that the offsets are not in milliseconds, they're in samples. So a sample is, there's 16,000 samples per second, which somebody was making a comment about. This seems weird. This isn't in milliseconds. I don't know what the math ended up being, but when I looked at it, I was like, I get what's going on here. They're doing samples, because I've worked on audio samples before. Okay, so this is the transcript. Speaker model label. I don't know what alignment means. I want to see, do we have any different speaker model labels? Speaker ID. Interesting. Label. There it is. Speaker label. Got it. So what I want to do, let's bring this over here. I want to go back into that project. And next Sunday, now that I've got some information about this, and since I'm going to go to bed early tonight, I think I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do the upload, and then I'm going to call it a huge success, just to have played around with it and kind of get some understanding. But next Sunday, the next Sharpen the Stream, what I might do, well, I might do it before then. We'll see. Let's see how much of this can be done. What I need tagged in here that is not in here is I need somehow the YouTube URL to be included in this. It looks like the only place that I have to put data. Let's see, I can edit this. If I edit it, what do I get to do? Slow down, insert paragraph. Okay, now I don't actually want to edit anything in here. I don't want to edit its transcription. What I want to edit is, I guess this is the only place that I have to edit. So I'm going to make a little note to Josh. Hey Josh, do you read me? I want the YouTube URL that is associated with the transcript to be pasted into the transcript name. We're going to see if this can work with this one right now. So I'm going to go to the Utah Rust YouTube. So let's do Utah Rust. Let's go to, we didn't update this one. That's okay. Not update. We didn't, this one wasn't actually live. So can we have completely arbitrary? Yes. So this is what we'll do. We'll have the name of the transcription include the YouTube URL, and that's going to be easy enough for me to parse out. So I don't know if we even need a marker. It can just be a space. Because if I see HTTPS : in the name, then at that point, I can essentially just say, well, the rest of it's going to be the YouTube URL. So let me go put that over in here. Hey, Josh, will you put the associated YouTube URL in the title of the Otter transcripts? That's going to enable me to automatically generate the blog if the video has been edited. I'd need the delta in the format, let's say minute, second, dot millisecond. Let's see. So I'm gonna think to myself for just a second here, instead of, it's because sometimes speaking out loudly, just for the sake of speaking out loud because I'm on the stream, makes it slower for me to get my thoughts together because I'm processing too much output when I just need the loop-de-loop on the inside. All right, I'm just going to give them some examples here. Uh, you know, we don't need millisecond resolution. We absolutely don't. If it's off by a second, it makes no difference. Okay, so just in the format. All right, cool. This is going to be good. This is going to be great, great, great. I'm loving it. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, let's see if we can do that, and then I'm going to call it a night. So we got the transcript out. So we got transcript.transcript. And then let's say transcript.transcript. And what are we looking at? I wonder what alignment means. Let me go back up towards the top here. Oh, that's not. Huh, what is that? That must be in seconds. That looks like some number of hours in seconds. So duration is in seconds. Okay. Okay, that's the download URL that we would have to hit from the browser. It's funny that it gives us the download URL that we can hit from the API without any authentication as well. So we got speakers. I don't really care about that as much. What I'm really interested in is start offset, end offset, speaker model label. Null, 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 222, 5, null. And do we have the speaker ID? Let's see. There's a label, and there's an ID to the speaker. Where's the label? Something like 5. Okay, so we can have a speaker model label and not have a speaker model. Okay, we've got speaker model label, i.e. unknown speaker 1, 2, 3, 4 plain, or unknown speaker 1, etc. So this is actually, is it a string? Is it, no, yeah, it's a string. So it's either a string. Okay. So this identifies, by the way, welcome to the channel. Those of you that are joining in, if at any point you find this to be useful or entertaining, it's probably not that entertaining tonight. I don't know. We're not having a lot of interaction. Sometimes we have a lot of interaction during these. You know, you get 5 or 6 people commenting in the chat, telling jokes. It's great. But yeah, I don't think the Sunday Monday boundary is what really catches the most exciting crowd. Not to say that you can't be an exciting crowd. I'd love it if you were. But what I was going to say is, you know, if you find it useful or entertaining or whatever it is that, you know, if you get a good feeling out of it, feel free to leave a like and feel free to ask me questions. What is it that you came here for? What would you like to learn? I would love to know. I'm totally fine with having a little bit of side conversation. Okay, so we're going to have a transcript, and then it's going to have, so this is going to be null 0, 1, and then we got speaker ID, I think it was, which can be null or some sort of ID, numerical ID. Speaker edited, label. We have a label. Is that the same thing? And then we have a label that appears to be the same. Oh. All right. And then what do we have the content somewhere here too, right? Oh, we've got speech ID, signature, alignment, transcript. So we got transcript, 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 yeah? What was this all the way up at the top? Is it transcripts? Is that, yeah, it's transcripts, not transcript. Actual text. All right. Start offset and inset. (16 kilohertz is the unit. In samples of 16 kilohertz. Measured in 16 kilohertz samples, not ms, not milliseconds. All right, there we go. I think that's all the useful information that I need out of this. The one thing I'm really curious about is what alignment means. So I'm going to go ahead and print out the very first one, just so we can take a look at that very specifically. So it's logging in. Whoa. Oh, gosh. Whoa, that's a lot of information. Holy moly, this must be that's quite a payload there. Okay, so the alignment is every single word in the transcript at what position it takes place. So if we wanted to break this up further and say, okay, start a new segment here, we could. That's neat. So that's how it does the highlighting that we saw earlier. That's cool. Wow. Thousands of them, huh? All right. Signature, and then created at. So I'm guessing the created at, because it's processing these blocks of audio. And when it thinks it's got it figured out, then it just slaps the created at on there. Okay, start offset, in offset, transcript, and then alignment. That's neat. It's really, really neat. So I'm going to put in this in here, alignment. And what, oh, I should have taken a look. What was that? End offsets. Oh, no, I didn't actually want to run that time. Thanks. I just want to put this here as documentation. Neat. So it's interesting. I wonder what unit it's using for these. Because I don't know that you could give a fractional frame as a boundary. But maybe you could. You could do anything. Marka. All right. All right. Okay, what else did I say I was going to do? I maybe want to parse the YouTube URL out of the transcript.title. So, I mean, if we just did a simple match, let yt match equals https dot star. That's actually, I think if it's just, I think it could be this simple. If transcript dot title dot, no, let's do let yt URL equals transcript dot style dot title dot index of. Oh, and I would probably need to do this to lower case, although it shouldn't matter. HTTPS colon if yt URL, then, well, I guess what it should be is transcript.youtube equals parse YouTube URL, parse YouTube info, transcript.title. Let's say that. So we'll move this into its own function. And then let's just console.log transcript.youtube. Whoops, I'll do underscore here like I was doing just there. And then maybe I won't log out the whole transcript because that's kind of big. So let's do function parse YouTube. Oh no! It's the sister lols. I'm going to block you, Gru. Nope, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Title. All right, so if it doesn't have that, then just return. I'll call it index. And we're going to do what? Title dot slice. Oh, this would be if less than 0. And then we're going to slice on the index. Basically, yeah, we're just going to take where it starts and whatever comes after. Oh, you know what else, though? We would definitely want to remove anything that comes after the HTTPS. From the real title. Of course, we also could probably get the title from YouTube. There's something that we could do here. I'm going to worry about it later. Okay, there's probably some pretty simple way, even if we just looked at the HTML and just grabbed the first few bytes of the HTML and grabbed the head and title info out of that, we'd probably be doing fine. Okay. YT URL slice. Yeah, maybe I want to get more. So you know what? I think I know what this is going to be. So title is going to be title.slice 0 YT URL index. That should work. So really what I want is the space. And then I should be able to do .trim on this. Yeah. And then let's say we're going to return title and YouTube URL. Oops, let's call that. I guess I'll just not shorten it here. But then I also want to grab the offset. So let offset equals let's say we're going to do this .trim.split on an empty string. All right, let's make it any amount of empty space. That makes me feel better. So I'm going to split on any amount of empty space. So I'm imagining a title can look like this. Utah, Rust, something or other file name. HTTPS YouTube 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like that. Yeah, this is basically what we're looking at right there. That's it. So I want title to become just this part. And I want the YouTube URL parts to become these two things. And then I want the offset would just basically parse that as a duration. So we'll parse that again, but the YouTube URL should always be, regardless of how that split happens, it should always be number 1 there, and then we're done with the YouTube URL. And then this is any amount of white space. Yeah, any positive amount of white space. That's correct. All right, so then the offset is going to be this, which might be nothing. So this is going to be or 0. Offset stir, let's say. All right, so the offset stir, so we're going to have offset min, offset sec, and that's going to be, let's say offset, let's call this offset parts. And so then this needs to be a string if it's nothing, so that we can do a split on the colon. That should work. And then let's see from there, what do we want to do? Then I think the offset is actually just going to be offset parts 0 is going to be minutes times 60. So that'll give us seconds plus offset parts 1. And I'm going to go ahead and break that down a little further. How do I want to do this? Okay, so we're going to take this amount. It's going to be the offset. Offset times equals 60. Convert to seconds. All right. And then we're going to do offset plus equals parse int. There we go. All right. And then if not offset, then offset equals 0. So if we get a nan or something like that, that's what we're going to do with the offset. Okay. Now let me actually make this functional. Oh my goodness. What have I done? All right, title's already been declared. Understood. Why somewhere I've got a comma that shouldn't be there apparently. Oh, I'm missing a comma here. All right, that was it. Cool. Everything's looking hunky-dory now. So now I've got this parse YouTube info. Example input. Some file name. Example. All right, let's say we'll do this. Example input and output. And so we're going to get back title, URL, offset. Boom. So now we've got a good way to store metadata in this Mojanker, because file name that I upload is certainly not going to be start with https://. And actually, you know, I don't know if I actually care, because here's what could happen. An accidental paste could look like this, where it's file name, there's no space, and then there's HTTPS. So let's go ahead and be liberal in what we accept. So note, we intentionally accept the typo file name HTTPS . So this is going to be 0. This is going to be 0. And this is going to be 11. All right, cool. So we're going to get 0, 0, and we're going to get 11. Ba-da-da-da. Cool. So transcript has already been declared. Oh, that must have, it looks like a mistake. All right, so we're just going to log the YouTube information we parse out of this. Let's check and see. Oh, YouTube URL did not come out well. Title Utah Rust Magmide Talk. Do I need to do something to save this? Do I need to go back and refresh or look at home again? Is there another place where that file name might be stored? What did I do wrong? Utah Rust. Magma Talk. That seems to be the title right up there. So I wonder. All right, let's see if I just refresh this. How does it like it now? That seems to be its title. I wonder if it creates a different version of it or something. Oh, whoops. And we also do need to return at least title, offset, and I kind of like the idea of YouTube URL. Well, I guess, could we just call it URL? We probably just call it URL. Let's just call it URL. All right. So we just return URL is going to be nothing. Offset's going to be 0. Let's do that. By the way, you can feel free to jump in with any comments or questions. I am about to get off here in just a minute. We didn't get to the upload portion, but meh, that's okay. This was good progress for the night. Let's see. And we did have an example here, didn't we? Utah Rust JSON. Okay, that's the title. So maybe I can just go over those titles there and get some meaningful information out of that. Let's see what we can do here. Speeches dot for each speech, and let's see if we can do this same thing here, where we do speech dot title. Let's see, transcripts, number of transcripts. Or maybe I should say transcriptions, because each transcription has multiple transcripts per whatever. That's not that important. Yeah, let's just take a look at this like so, like that. See what we get here. Okay. Well, that really stinks. Because I don't seem to have access to this information. And I would very much like access to this information. I guess I could check back tomorrow and see if that information appears there. Obviously it's here. Well, let's just take a look and see how is it getting it here. Maybe there's a different way to get this. Maybe there's some annotations or some edits or some way that I'm looking that this is coming that I'm not. Nice. Let's get rid of that. All right, can I search through here for youtube.com? That's what I want to find. /watch. Does that narrow it down more? Okay. Okay, speech ID. Summary. Utah Rust Magmite talk. So I might be getting the let's sanity check here. You know what's probably happening, would make a lot of sense, is I might be getting the right information and I'm probably parsing it wrong. So let's just do a quick sanity check for that. And let me go look at my parse YouTube info real quick, and then yeah, I need to get off. Get back to bed. Lowercase index of. So this should not fail for at least one of them. Let me just, for the fun of it, to see if it's exiting there, take a look at that. And then what is this? The YouTube URL would be, so we're going to slice from here until there, and then we're going to slice from here until the end, and then trim, and then split. And then that should yield at least a part 1. So that should yield a URL. All right, let's check and see what's happening in reality. Let's run it again. From the top. Okay, so we are indeed getting the correct input. We're not getting the correct output. Maybe I didn't assign it properly. I might have just assigned a different variable. YouTube URL parts. I don't know how this could possibly go wrong. This looks like URL. That looks like URL. Oh, you know how this could go wrong? I know how this could go wrong. Okay, so people have talked about. Nah, I don't know if this still doesn't. No, never mind. I was gonna bring up a counterpoint about what, you know, why I say const is useless. I've never had a need for const, and then people say, oh yeah, I need const all the time. It helps me with all these problems that I have. Well, not many people say that. Well, they certainly don't identify what the problems are. But I say, well, I don't. It's not rarely that I don't know whether or not I want to change a variable. But in this case, I want a new variable, but it's just, it's my own. It's, gosh. Let's change this from. I don't even know that information is that useful. So anyway, let me. What I need to do is first I should slice out what the parts are, and then at the end I should take the title from the beginning. I was modifying title and then trying to process more information off of it, which ain't gonna work. Okay, here that's looking good. So let me make another change to this, and I'm gonna do 0, 0, 0, 1. And we'll just see what happens here. And then I'm going to commit this, and I'm going to say sayonara. How long has the stream been? About an hour and a half? Yeah, it's a good stopping point for us. What was our update to update? That's a good one. Git add update. And I'm going to commit, improve text output is what I was doing there. And then I'll go ahead and push that. Oh. My computer, since I rebooted my computer, I've not added my SSH keys. Hey, how's it going? I'm AJ. I'm going to mute real quick to type my password, and then I'll say hello. I'm actually just about to sign off, but welcome. Nice to have you. Love to know who you are, what brings you to the channel tonight. And I'm a little tired because it's almost 2 a.m. But I've just been working on some API / integration stuff with Otter. So between this channel, the live streams I do on the channel, the content, the lesson style content that I do, also the meetup channels that I do for Utah Rust and Utah Node.js, I want to get all of the transcriptions out there so that if I want to search or reference past material, I can do it pretty quickly and easily. And if there's some cool snippets that we want to pull time codes and put them in the description, they're super easy to find. Or if I say, hey, Josh, edit this, but actually don't edit this because I'm just using this as an example, then Josh can go find it and then edit it. Wow, coding, it looks so cool. Or were you expecting a different voice announcer? What brings you here tonight? And do you have any other great announcements to make? Because I will read them in the style of your choosing, with some boundaries. I don't know how you could possibly give me in the style of your choosing that would cross those boundaries, but I'm sure if we workshopped, we could find some. All right, so oh, I was on your recommendations. Are you a coder? What do you do? All right, so I don't remember what I said the last thing I was going to do before signing off was, other than I guess just committing the code, maybe taking a look and make sure that I've got some comments or something. So this is a good start. So from this point, with the information that I've got, my goal of being able to take the YouTube URL, link time codes to the YouTube video in the blog post, have the transcription on the blog post. It's looking pretty good. Might want to go back retroactively and add I guess better summary information for the video. But it's my flow will soon be, I record the stream. I showed you earlier, I've got my little audio extract. I just drag and drop that. Then I drag and drop the audio into the import on Otter. I let Otter run overnight. I come back the next day. I'm going to run the script. It's going to build out some blog posts. I'm going to commit those blog posts, and then they're going to go live. And then any editing that we do from that point forward will be in the blog system, the content system. And I'll have some sort of check to not overwrite the blog content files. So then I'll have transcriptions for all of the content that I create, about as automated as I think that we can reasonably make it. Let's see. I think coding is cool. When I do it, I get bored and unmotivated immediately. So how can we fix that for you, announcer? Is it because you really just don't like it, or is it because that's fine. You know, there's no pressure on doing something that you just don't want to do. But is it that you don't have any goal in mind? Because if you don't have any goal in mind, you just say, oh, I'm going to code for coding's sake, that's going to be pretty boring. But if you have a goal in mind, so for example, you do an audio podcast with a few friends and you want to do transcripts. And by the way, if anybody had an audio podcast, this is literally the perfect tool for, I mean, when I'm describing what I'm doing. I mean, this is not a podcast, but the same thing. You know, if you had a podcast with friends and you wanted to use a tool to to be able to transcribe that and then automatically create annotated content posts that have a link to the podcast and a link to the transcription, well, then you know what you need to do, and you have a point to jump from A to B to C to D to kind of keep track. Okay, so I think I could do something cool with code, but I just have no goal. Yeah, I hear you. I think that's a tough problem. You just got to be more critical. My wife likes to say complaining is life. And this in a large way is actually true, because when we identify things that we dislike, it gives us motivation, hopefully, to change them. And when you've got the power of code at your fingertips, you can change all the things. Yeah. Hey, Josh. Josh is the editor. Highlight that clip, please. Not just the mwahaha part, but the conversation that we're having here together, maybe. Hey, announcer. So I'm doing this clip thing, and we'll see how it works out. I haven't really started doing clips yet, but as videos start to get edited, not the whole things, but just, oh, this was a neat little fun part, I'll pull this out into a 2-minute clip. Just our discussion about coding. That's the part that I want to clip, is the discussion about, hey, I'm having a problem. I can't stay motivated. Is it because of this? Yeah, it is. And just, it's a helpful bit. People ask these kinds of things all the time. How do I get motivated? Whatever. Anyway, feel free to ask any other questions. I'm about to sign off because I accomplished the minimum that I was hoping to accomplish. I accomplished it well enough, and I need to get to bed before 2 a.m. because promise to self. All right, so I might, let's see, get checkout -B. I don't know that, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to commit whip feet. Let's see, whip feet. I don't know, whip, just whip, I guess. Whip is turn Otter transcripts whip or feet fetch Otter transcripts and parse title. There we go. Ba-da-da-da-da. All right, I think that's it for me for now. Oh, I also definitely need to have in the .getIgnore. Whoops. We should make sure that we're .env.secret. We're ignoring those. All right. Well, I'm signing off. Thanks for the compliment. That's the word I'm looking for. I appreciate that. Well, I did come on YouTube just to scroll, and I'm tired, but I'm going to like and subscribe to remember you. Hey, thanks. See you around. Yep. Likewise. Okay. And everybody else, if you learned anything, if you had a good time, if you got a laugh out of that last little bit there, consider a like, sub, follow, whatever. And those of you on Twitch. And I'm going to head to bed. I'll catch you later. Adios.